Hello friends, good day to you. Happy Friday. Magandang araw, magandang gabi, magandang umaga. Welcome to Coffee Break with Dr. Michelle Alignay. It's another week for us. Of course, the week is almost ending, but I feel that okay, I think I want to talk about this topic that is not really talked about, but you or somebody that you know might be going through this what we call couple burnout. Alam mo yung madalas ko marinig, talagang nakaka-burnout nga ba yung relasyon? Pero come to think of it, sa experience natin, no, sa mga relasyon natin, di ba minsan meron tayong feeling ng, ay parang nakakaubos, parang wala ka nang maibigay. Yan, parang, we hear this in songs, we hear this in, we saw this happening in movies, but what really happened to us? Yan ang pag-uusapan natin over masarap na kape, this here in Coffee Break. So please get your coffee, tell me how have you been, tell me, nangyari na kaya nga sa iyo to, na burn out ka ba sa relasyon mo? Or baka ngayon, you're in the middle of it. So tell me where you're watching from. Share this to family and friends that who might just need to hear about how are they going to check kung sila nga ay nasa gitna ng couple burnout. So let's talk about couple burnout in the context of relationship. So I'm talking to married people here. So if you're not married, it's okay for you to understand kasi baka may burnout ka sa ibang relasyon mo. And if you are naman, what you call this, a parent, meron din kasing parenting burnout. And one of the people, one of the group of people who are so at risk in burnout is actually the parents. Paano kung married ka pa? So, nanay ka na, married ka pa, or tatay ka na, and then your parent. Plus, lalo na yung tinatawag ng mga frontliners, or there's such thing as the caregiver fatigue or caregiver burnout dun sa mga taong in the helping professions like me, like a counselor, psychologist, the nurses, yan. Maraming mga studies that, though so many studies are actually found that connected to burnout in this specific area, people in the helping relationship. So tell me where you're coming from, tell me where you're watching from, and then let's talk about this topic na hindi naman natin madalas pag-usapan, pero kailangan natin maintindihan. And it will, I hope that as we move along, as we go through this topic, you just might start thinking, andito ba ako? And of course, the goal is para mapunta ka dito, but the goal really is for you to understand it and how that you will avoid getting into burnout. So let me just ask the people here. For those of you, alam ko parang it's, you just might be doing something this afternoon, but masarap magkape. I would like to ask you, do you think you've ever been in this situation? Yung sa tingin mo, posible nga kayang burnout yung nangyari sa'yo. And we will check what are the things that we should consider to say that nandito ba tayo sa burnout. So, couple burnout, of course, happen to married couples. It's quantified as such and refers to when the couple starts detaching and disconnecting for a number of reasons. But it's not about, I've read that it's not about love. It's not about their relationship. It's not about yung it's not about the couple. It's not about the couple that hindi na nila mahal ang isa't isa. Minsan, sadyang pagod ka lang. Can you type that with me? Can you say that with me? Sadyang nakakapagod lang. Sadyang ang dami mong iniisip. Like, my friend here, hi Jet. Halimbawa ikaw, Jet, you work in the human resource. Diba? People in the HR, you make sure na lahat ng kailangan, and friends in the HR profession, I have so many friends in the HR profession, lahat ng kailangan, kailangan mong asikasuhin. Lahat ng mga tao, parang even of course, their health, safety, and sanity, it depends on you. So think about that. But many of us who are mothers, many of us at home are actually nandun. We go through this. There are certain seasons in our lives na posibleng nandito tayo. So, couple burnout is when you start disconnecting and over time, parang it lasts for a period. Sometimes, we deliberately distance kasi ang dami nating issues that, we just would like to detach. And there's a lot of negativity already. And I personally experienced this. There's that feeling of apathy. Ako naniniwala ako na pag apathy na, apathetic. You know what apathetic means? Yung pag minsan wala ka ng pakialam, that's a sign that okay, this is no longer okay. It's not that you don't love the person, but it's just that at that point you're really, really, really not okay. So here, it burnout can, when we say in particular, the word burnout is actually coming from the term that is used for employment, workplace, occupation. So it's really the root of the word burnout. It's actually in the context of well-being, it's actually connected to burnout from work. Yun talaga yung pinanggalingan. But over the years, it can be applied to other areas of life, including parenting, caregiving, and of course, relationship. And in particular, we're talking about the couple. It can burn out, if you think that you are burned out from work, it can actually impact your relationship also. You can be apathetic as a mom, you can be apathetic as a person or as a sister. Parang ano ba, parang wala na akong maibigay. Ayoko nang may gawin, ayoko nang may sabihin. Pwede bang mangyari na gano'n? Yes. Puwedeng, mahal mo sila pero at that point, I just don't want to give anything. So similar to the burnout syndrome, typically has symptoms. So ito yung masasabi mo na, okay, burnout nga ako dahil nangyayari to sa akin. And that's what I'm going to share with you. Okay, I would like to ask you first before I move on to this discussion. Sa tingin nyo, if you are in the season of burnout or nangyari sa inyo to, what is that symptom that gave you a clue na parang, this is not normal? I'm going through something different. Ano yung common feeling or ano yung common behavior nyo that makes you say that this is likely not normal. Posibleng iba to. So yan. And that alone can impact already your work. Sometimes burnout with work can actually affect already your relationships. And sometimes also relationships burnout in relationships, in your marriage, in your family can affect your work. But take note, it was quantified that burnout, it's not a mental health disorder. It's a phase, it's a season, it's a phenomenon. Meaning it can be addressed. Kumbaga, madali kang makakalabas. But it does not mean na kung, hindi naman burnout naman to, hindi naman ako depressed. Magandang malaman yon. Pero, if you are at risk for burnout and it's prolonged already, that can be the root. Kumbaga, mababa na yung resistensya mo. Kumbaga sa physical health natin, lagi ka na lang may mababa yung immune system, ang bilis mong tamaan ng sipon or ng cough, madali kang magkaroon ng sakit, madali ka ng dapuan ng other mental health concern. Am I making sense? So, ayan, tinitingnan ko yung mga sinasabi nyo. Ano yung mga possible signs that burnout may have happened to you? Doing nothing? Yeah, burnout din kasi has the sense of boredom. Yung parang, I don't want to think about anything. Bakit? And I will tell you, as I said, it can greatly impact relationships. I will tell you what are the common signs of burnout. As I said, it's actually contextualized professionally. But let's look at it in the context of relationship. So there is that feeling of detachment or depersonalization. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Detachment and depersonalization, kaya you just simply don't care. You just would like to be detached, depersonalized. You care about these things, but that at that point, parang I just don't want to care. Pwede bang hindi na lang magregalo sa Pasko? Pwede bang bahala na lang muna kayo kung anong iuulam nyo? Sa mga nanay dito, nararamdaman nyo ba minsan yan? Ayan, may migraine madalas, or minsan alam nyo gastrointestinal concerns, migraine, vertigo. Ito yung mga stress-induced concerns. So, detachment from the partner, parang ayaw mo na lang muna siyang makita. Parang, okay, so what? Ayan, ganyan na yung mga feeling natin. Another is, ito, pang-emote to. Emotional exhaustion. Emotional exhaustion. Have you been there, friends? Nangyari ba sa inyo to? Emotionally, you're so exhausted. Ayoko mag-isip. Pagod na pagod ako. And And because you're exhausted emotionally, you have limitations on your capacity to care and to capacity to love. Alam mo, deep inside, mahal mo. But at that point, pagod na pagod ka na. Ito yung tipong wala kang maibigay. Meron matandang, meron, hindi mo matanda. I don't know yung narinig niyo na yung sinasabi na pag nagmahal ka sa relasyon mo, magtira ka para sa sarili mo. Have you heard of it? I would like to that thing na magtira ka para sa sarili mo. Well, we agree to that. But let's make it different. Let's make that different. I believe that the more appropriate term is that sa isang relasyon, especially in a couple relationship, in your marriage, it's not that magtira ka. Ang gawin mo, punuin mo muna sarili mo. So that we don't come to a point past our tipping point. And when we tip, pag talagang bumaksak tayo, because we're so emotionally exhausted, because we are so drained, kumbaga sa charger, ay katabi ko yung charger, kumbaga sa charger, yung nakita mo 10% na yung battery, pero kailangan pa. So, ginamit mo siya. And then, eventually, of course, you know that mamamatay yung phone. And what if you need it? What if you need it? That's the emotional exhaustion there. It's just not working anymore because it's actually drained. So, there's emotional exhaustion. Kakabit nun, there's drain of energy. Wala talaga eh. Wala nang maibuga, wala nang maibigay. There's no more creativity, there's no more passion, there's no more love. Diba, Shena? Huwag mong sagarin ang sarili. Hindi mo lang basta sasagarin bago ka masagad. You need to start retooling and rebooting yourself. So, the first one, as I said, depersonalization or detachment. The second one, emotional exhaustion or drain of energy. And the third is in burnout, there's a sense of lack of accomplishment, lack of personal accomplishment. Kahit alam mo na magaling ka, kahit alam mo na, I'm so capable of fixing the house, I'm so capable of arranging our anniversaries, the birthday party of my kids, I know I'm capable, but at that point, parang kahit anong gawin mo, parang you're not good. You're not good enough. And because of that, you feel really bad about yourself. You started feeling bad about yourself. And in the process, you also start being cynical about the partner or the relationship. Parang because of wala kang magawang matino, wala ka nang magawa, wala ka nang maibigay, you feel that, teka lang, may saysay pa ba to? You started questioning your purpose, you started questioning about commitment, you started questioning about love. So alam nyo, we have to check, this is the bigger picture of burnout. This is the bigger picture of all kinds of burnout. Occupational burnout is a phenomenon, as I said, as regarded by the World Health Organization. But in relationships, it can manifest in different forms. So, yung tatlo na importanteng makita sa burnout, depersonalization, lack of personal accomplishment, and the third one, it's feeling of exhaustion or emotional exhaustion. So now, tingnan natin kung ano pa yung mga ibang bagay na pwede nating makita at masabi na this is actually burnout. So the first one is, one of the area is that feeling disengaged with our partner. Yung bang, alam nyo, magandang malaman to eh. Why are we disengaged? Bakit parang kahit na is the other person the things that we enjoy doing? For example, you like having coffee with your husband, with your wife, with your family members. Isama natin ang family members. Kahit na, and because na gusto mong, so that's something that you enjoy doing. But all of at this point in your life, kahit na alam mong enjoyable to, you just don't want to do it. Hindi siya life-giving for you. So here, mutual activities that you used to enjoy together are no longer serving its purpose. So you just want to disengage. Gusto mong mapag-isa. Gusto mong ikaw lang. Have you been here? Have you been disengaged from your loved ones? And of course, kasama na din because there's that feeling of you feel cynical, you feel exhausted. Frequent fighting. So, posibleng pumapasok dyan yung, tingnan nyo, bakit kayo madalas mag-away? Dahil hindi kayo magkasundo? Or madalas kayo mag-away kasi it's just so toxic. Lahat tinatanong sa akin. Ako na lang ba yung may hawak ng, ako na lang ba yung sasagot ng lahat ng tanong mo? Or ako na lang ba yung, am I made? Yan, ganyan yung mga issue eh. Ginawa ba ako para mag-serve lahat? Hindi ba ako parang I need to give myself due also. And sometimes it happens that the frequent fighting, it's not because of the feeling of you just want to fight, but it's because that one, you know, aminin natin, minsan sa isang relasyon, hindi pareho ang equation. Mas nakakalamang yung isa dun sa isa. Mas maraming load dun sa isa. Mas kumbaga, if you have your plates, the other one has a full plate, the other one has a reasonably okay plate. You know what I mean? So if there's that feeling na parang yan lang ginagawa mo, nagrereklamo ka, ako ang dami ko pang gagawin. Honestly, it can result to the exhaustion. It can result to also frequent fighting, lalo na kung hindi natin kayang express yung sarili natin. I realized that many times, the reason why we fight off, yung parang we're irritable, we are easily frustrated, it's because we have underlying emotions. And that underlying emotions is that possibly we have a need that are not expressed. Nahihiya tayong express, aminin na kailangan ko to, or because there's guilt, but also there's frustration that I am not heard, I am not appreciated, I am taken for granted. And because of that, the more we feel exhausted, mas lalo tayong napapagod. Friends, are you still here? Am I making sense? Have you been in this point na parang nakakapagod talaga? And yun yung reason bakit we constantly fight. Fighting, it's not the problem. When you constantly fight, there's always those feelings. Yan yung kailangan nating tingnan, that there's more in the emotion, that there's more in between the fights. There's underlying need in the fight. I'm happy that you can relate, friends. Okay. So because of that, because you're always fighting, another aspect, another sign is that you feel more negative about your partner. So in healthy relationships, usually when we are satisfied in the relationship, it's a give and take relationship. Diba? And when we're connected with our partner, pag may nangyaring misunderstanding, okay, maiinis tayo, magagalit tayo. But in general, we have feel-good feelings. But, kumbaga, kahit na meron challenges, nakakinikilig pa rin kayo sa isa't isa. Ngayon, sabihin natin, wala nang kilig. Paupos ka na nga eh. Nakaka-relate tayo dito. Gusto mo na lang muna siyang hagisan ng pinggan or gusto mo muna siyang pauwiin sa kanila. Generally, both of you assume that the other has good intentions. Pero kahit na minsan maganda yung intention, pero kung meron na tayong feeling of burnout, the other one feels negative. Kaya ang nangyayari, kahit anong gawin ng isa, maganda man or hindi, parang pangit pa rin yung dating. Mag-reach out ka man o hindi nagiging maganda yung impact. It's because dun sa one partner has so much exhaustion, has so much negativity, and when you come to think of it, it really takes two to argue. That person reached that point because of the dynamics of the relationship. Wala nang sisihan kung sino, pero tingnan doon, what are the contributory factors to that sense, to that feeling of negativity, feeling of cynicism, and that emotional exhaustion. For all you know, sometimes it's the sentiments of the other person is not heard. Minsan wala, parang kahit naman, I've heard a lot of those. Sometimes, even you guys watching Coffee Break na, ay kahit naman sabihin ko, hindi ko napapakinggan. So, unmet needs. Really, I've read some articles that burnout can actually happen if the one person in the relationship has unmet needs. Tuloy-tuloy, kailangan ko rin magpahinga. Kailangan ko rin naman na meron akong oras sa sarili ko. So, unmet needs. Or bakit na lang, am I just here to serve his need or her need? Sila na lang ba papakinggan ko? Paano naman yung sarili? So, unmet needs, unmet personal needs. And also, burnout can happen is that when you feel that the relationship is stressing you more than supporting you. Ang pangit, 'di ba? Because loving relationships, especially marriages, it's supposed to be life-giving. Ideally, it's supposed to support us to be the better person, to be the best person, to be able to do well at work, to be able to do well in other areas of life. But sometimes it can create more stress and support. When the relationship starts to feel stressful than supportive, this can be a sign that it might just need to be rebooted. Kailangan ng reboot ng mag-asawa. Healthy relationship is the foundation of fondness and mutual support. And yes, we are actually happy if you have a blessed marriage, if you have a good marriage. Let me tell you also that life has seasons. Life has seasons. It's good if you are protecting the marriage right now. You are very proactive na hindi mangyari sa inyo to. Pero wag niyong alisin sa isip na posible ring mangyari. Kasi we're human eh. And we are actually confronted by different scenarios, different problems, different concerns. Sometimes you don't choose that to happen. Burnout happens. It's not overnight, it's a process. But because it's something new for many, if you especially if you always feel good about your marriage, it's probably na parang, hi, halimbawa, you experience grief, you experience loss in your family, and then suddenly you experience concerns in your business. When sometimes, and then there's the demands of your family members or the demands of your kids. Sometimes the couple get into a couple burnout not because of the relationship itself, but because of other factors that affected their relationship. Maraming mga aspeto sa labas ng relasyon, tapos sa loob nila, hindi pa sila pareho ng season na pinagdadaanan. Hindi pa sila pareho ng concerns. Hindi pa maintindihan ng one partner kung bakit ka nagkakaganyan. But for all we know, just one, if you feel that your partner is at the point that it's hindi siya ganyan dati, alagaan nyo na. Alagaan nyo na. So thank you if you are blessed to have a good marriage. But I would like to actually make you also cautious that it can happen because work burnout, burnout with caregiving other people in your life, it can actually happen. So make sure that your marriage is supportive because if not, if dadagdag pa yan sa stress, kung may mangyari na problems in other areas of your life, it can actually roll into really a bad burnout situation. And for all you know, hindi na rin kayo makatawa because one really sign that you know you might just be burnout because you cannot laugh anymore. You cannot. There's no more humor in the relationship. Laughter, humor, fun, the things that you find fun before, parang wala na. Ayoko na yan. Ayoko na yan. Huwag mo na akong patawanin ng corny mo. Parang ganon. So, there's no more pleasure and enjoyment in the relationship. Isama mo na dyan, of course. If you are in marriages, there's no more sex life because how and you don't find the thrill, the joy, the passion because there's emotional exhaustion. So let's go back to that emotional exhaustion. When you feel exhausted, it's really time to check in yourself. Hindi to physical. You know, I've had 2 or 3 seasons of burnout in my life. And ang na-realize ko yung after a good night's sleep, parang everyday na lang, babangon kang pagod pa rin. When we are in burnout, that's the normal feeling. We would reach that and and it's easy for us to snap. It's easy for us to just see the negativity because really there's no more energy left. Ayaw mo na lang makipag-away, tititigan mo na lang lahat ng tao kasi pagod ka na. Ayaw mo na rin to look for ways to have fun and it really zaps off our creativity. It really zaps off our creativity. So you have to take note of these things. So anong posibleng mga bagay na kailangan nating iwasan as married couples para hindi tayo mapunta sa burnout? Ano yung dapat nating iwasan? Um, ano yung dapat nating iwasan na area or what are the things that we should take note of in order to could be the root of burnout also as we will not go into burnout? One is valuing our partner. So how do you value your partner? I would raise the question to you. How do you value each other? Do you feel valued by your partner? Or you feel na parang hindi ako mahalaga, I'm always taken for granted, pinasalamatan na niya ang mundo, ako hindi. That is very critical because that feeling of lack of appreciation, that's critical in a relationship. And also, sa mga ito, sino yung mga candidates for burnout? Yung walang appreciation in the relationship. The next is yung mga type A personality, yung mga too organized, too controlling, too rigid. Nakikinig kayo sa akin. Yung bang kailangan areglado lahat. Yung hindi pa nangyayari, na-forecast ko na kung ano dapat mangyari. The go-getter. We are prone for burnout. Yes, but I learned how to tone down myself. But if you would always want things to be perfect, things to be in place, things na ang dami-daming detalye, you are actually a candidate. Why? You don't know how to adjust. You might know how to adjust, but it's already too late because it has brought you a lot of frustration and emotions. And also, those people who have a lot of stress in their lives, either at work and other areas, na parang hindi na nawawala, chronic stress na nga yung tawag, you're also a candidate. Another, you are growing apart with your partner. Alam nyo, ang isa sa guideline ko sa relasyon is that when you are, a relationship should allow us to grow to become the best version of ourselves. Not to be the codependent version of us, but the best version of who I am as a person. So pag natingnan nyo, parang hindi ko na siya kilala. Iba na yung interest niya. Parang we're growing apart and then there's no more marriage. There is a relationship, magkasama kami pero parang sa isang bubong lang. Magulang kami ng anak namin pero hindi kami mag-asawa. Mukha kaming magkapatid sa isang bahay. Yun! You just might run into couple burnout. Another is that people who feel loss of independence. Ito yung sinasabi kong codependent relationship. Every whim ng asawa mo, you need to supply. If your husband is so dependent on you, ultimo yung pampaligo niya na damit, pampaligo niya na towel, sa'yo iaasa, lahat ng kakainin niya, pati budget niya, pati yung schedule niya, ikaw yung ginagawa niya, executive assistant, you just might be prone. Yes, I will be very upfront with you. We are born to serve our loved ones, but not to the point of making them too dependent on us that we cannot breathe anymore. And they can no longer live without us. And we don't feel we are independent. Kailangan ipagpaalam mo lahat, pati yung pagpapagupit mo, pagpapamanicure mo, kailangan mo ipagpaalam. There's no longer you. You cannot see yourself anymore. That's really a burnout candidate. And of course, lack of communication in the relationship. Hindi mo nasasabi kung yung kailangan mo, hindi mo nasasabi kung, okay, these are the things that I need to meet, I need this day for myself. Hindi mo kayang sabihin because there's no connection in the relationship. That is very critical. And of course, there are other responsibilities that are asked of you. Too many responsibilities. Actually, too many responsibilities to the point that you no longer have time to enrich the relationship. Ang daming ganyan na nangyari. Ang daming ganyan na nangyari sa sobrang daming kailangan asikasuhin sa buhay ang napabayaan yung relasyon. Kaya, the couple have both burned out because there's just too much in their lives. They forgot to be a married couple anymore. They forgot that they are a couple. And I always share this with you guys. Don't forget that you are a couple first before you are parents. And before you become a couple, you are yourself. So the priority would always be you take care of yourself so you can take care of your marriage. And if you are married and happily married, you can take care of your family. So kung inuuna nyo yung pamilya, sinong kakampi nyo? How can you take care of the marriage if there's no more marriage? And how can you take care of yourself if you don't know who you are? Diba? That's really the punchline of my book. You can care for you. The soul and science of self-care. Kasi at the end of the day, all the stressors, all the changes, all the challenges, it will happen. And as you know yourself, you are a candidate for burnout, the more you can actually start taking care of yourself so that you will not run into that. It's an ugly stage. I've been to burnout. I've been to work burnout twice. Relationship burnout, check. Yes. It's a very ugly stage. Kaya ko tong pag-usapan sa inyo. I hope that we can have one private session like this. Kasi ang hirap na, to to bring this out in the open. So it's something that we all have to think about. So friends, ang tanong ko sa inyo, do you think that you are a candidate? But before that, you need to be honest with your needs. Set time for yourself and set time for your marriage. Kasi kailangan yun. So take care of yourself, do a lot of self-care, and do a lot of couple care. Take care of each other. Ensure na, ay, alam kong kailangan mo to, o sige, magpahinga ka. Suportahan yung isa't isa. Because the only way that we can actually thrive in this marriage is kung alagaan natin isa. Hindi lang ladies, mothers, wives, hindi lang sa atin dapat ang pag-aalaga, sa atin dalawa. Kasi kung gusto natin ayusin yung marriage, kung gusto natin ayusin yung pamilya, everybody has to do their share. Let's not make it our life for them to be dependent on us. Hindi natin laging hawak ng kaldero. Hindi sila dapat dependent sa atin. Kailangan natin maayos yung pamilya natin for them to be very independent. And I hope that this is helpful for you. Okay, friends, I have one big question. If there's one thing that you think is helpful for you in this live stream, ano yan? Please put that in the chat. And then as I end, I would like to remind you again, friends, alagaan niyo yung sarili niyo. You can care for you because it's the way that you can care more for your marriage. Burnout is real. Totoong nangyayari siya. Lalo na din kung candidate ka, you are not excused. So you have to do more self-aware. You have to gain more self-awareness and you have to be more expressive of your needs because you are in a relationship together. Hindi ka lang nag-iisa nagpapatakbo ng relasyon. It's supposed to be the two of you. Huwag niyo angkinin lahat. Huwag niyo angkinin lahat kasi pag inangkin niyo lahat, kawawa naman yung iba, walang para sa kanila. At mas kawawa ka. Kasi yung hindi mo na load, inangkin mo sa sobrang bait mo. But at the end of the day, ikaw na rin yung talo. Kasi hindi masaya. Hindi masaya kang kabanding. Kasi you are burned out. And you're coming from a place that you are already burned, not a place of love and a place of overflow. So I hope this has helped you. I hope you share with me your learnings for this live stream. Please do I would like to invite you also, friends, to join us at the Feast Conference. So, yes, it's happening already next week. So, the Feast Conference, you can check out tickets. I'll be part of the biggest Catholic inspirational event of the year. That's the feastconference.com. It's online and on-site at SMX. MOA Arena. So please, if you would like to get to know more details, check out feastconference.com and let's connect via Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. You can actually follow this live stream in Spotify also. And more importantly, of course, sa mga naghahanap ng good Christmas gifts for their loved ones and for themselves, please check out the You Can Care For You, The Soul and Science of Self-Care. That's my book from Peace Books. If you are interested to get bulk signed copies of the book, you can just send me a message to place your bulk order. So that's about it. I hope that this is helpful for you. This is, ayan, ang gaganda ng learnings nyo, friends. I love it. Blessed to have a hubby who tames my type. Yes, reminds me to chill. Same with me, Noreen. Sheena, learn to say no. Be honest. If you get burnout, nobody might listen or care at all. Yes, nobody will, so you can care for you. Mavs, burnout is real. Huwag angkinin ng lahat. Tandaan mo yan, friend. Sheena, don't be too helpful. Yes, we need to help, but we need to take care of ourselves. Edith, the need to verbalize your needs. So keep verbalizing your needs. Friends, if you would like to support more of Coffee Break, you can support Coffee Break by sending Facebook stars. And thank you to all those who send stars. Keep sending them to show your love and support for Coffee Break. And you can send also your support for this work through GCash. You can send us a direct message. So that's about it. This is Dr. Michele Alignay. I hope that this is actually a very good way for us to end our week, to reflect about these things, to reflect about couple burnout. It can happen. It can happen to you. We're not excused. So take care of yourself so you can take care of your marriage and you can take care more of your family. This is Dr. Michele Alignay for Coffee Break.